Daniel had always been afraid of the dark. Not in the childish way most kids were, not just monsters in closets or shadows on the wall. His fear was quieter, older, like something that had been waiting for him long before he was born. It started when he was 7 years old. The first night in the new house was too quiet. No traffic outside. No distant barking dogs. No hum of streetlights through the window. Just silence that felt thick, like the air itself didn't want to move. Daniel lay in bed staring at the ceiling, his small hands clutching the blanket just below his chin. The hallway light outside his bedroom door cast a thin yellow line across the carpet. His parents had left it on to help him sleep. It didn't help. He felt watched. Not from the door. Not from the window. From below. He tried to ignore it. He told himself it was just nerves. New house. New room. New sounds. Then he heard it. Scratch. Daniel froze. The sound came from under his bed. He didn't breathe. Didn't blink. His ears strained so hard they almost hurt. A few seconds passed. Nothing. His heart pounded loud enough that he thought whatever was under there could hear it. He told himself it was the house settling. Wood shifting. Pipes moving. Normal things adults said to make children feel stupid for being scared. He squeezed his eyes shut. Scratch, scratch. Closer this time. Slower. Like fingernails dragging across the underside of his mattress. Daniel pulled the blanket over his head. He stayed like that for hours, sweating, shaking, until exhaustion dragged him into a restless sleep. The next morning, sunlight made everything feel ridiculous. He even laughed at himself while eating cereal. "There's no such thing as something under the bed," his mom said with a smile. "That's just in stories." Daniel wanted to believe her. That night, he checked anyway. He knelt beside his bed, heart thudding, and slowly leaned down. Dust. A lost sock. Nothing else. He felt relief flood through him. Until he noticed something strange. The dust wasn't settled evenly. It looked disturbed, like something had been moving in it. He didn't tell his parents. The scratching came back 3 nights later. This time it was louder. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Rhythmic. Patient. Daniel pressed his ear to the mattress. It stopped immediately. Silence. Then, tap. Directly beneath his head. He shot upright in bed. "Mom," he whispered. No answer. The hallway light was still on. The door still open. Everything looked normal. Except the feeling. That feeling that someone was lying flat beneath him, staring up through the thin wood slats, listening to him breathe. Daniel didn't sleep at all that night. Over the next few weeks, it got worse. Not every night. Just enough to make him doubt himself. Some nights there were scratches. Other nights, breathing. Slow. Wet. Clothes. He started sleeping with his feet pulled up so nothing could grab his ankles. He stopped looking under the bed entirely. Because deep down he knew, if he looked, he might finally see it. One night, around 2:13 a.m., Daniel woke to a new sound. A whisper. Soft. Raspy. Right beneath him. Daniel. His blood turned to ice. He told himself it was a dream. He had to. Because if it wasn't, then something under his bed knew his name. "Daniel, don't look." His eyes filled with tears. He wanted to scream. To run. To call his parents. But fear pinned him down like invisible hands. "Stay in bed." The voice sounded wrong. Like it wasn't used to talking. Like its throat was dry from years of silence. Daniel squeezed his eyes shut and shook his head. "I'm dreaming," he whispered. A pause. Then, from under the bed. No. Something shifted beneath him. Wood creaked. The mattress dipped slightly, just a fraction like weight had pressed upward from below. Daniel screamed. His parents rushed in, flipping on the light. He sobbed and pointed under the bed. His father checked. "Nothing there." "Bad dream," his dad said gently. But Daniel noticed something. His father didn't look all the way to the wall, at the far end under the bed. He only glanced near the edge. He didn't see the darkness in the back corner, where something had quietly pulled itself deeper into the shadows. Watching. Waiting. From that night on, Daniel stopped telling anyone. Because the thing under his bed didn't like it when he did. Whenever he tried, the scratching got louder the next night. Longer. Angrier. Until he understood. It didn't want his parents to know. It only wanted him. And then one night, it touched him. A cold finger slid through the gap between the mattress and the wall and brushed his hand. Daniel didn't scream. He didn't move. Because deep down, he finally understood something that made his stomach drop into an endless pit of dread. The thing under his bed wasn't trying to get out. It was trying to get closer. Daniel didn't tell anyone about the hand. He couldn't. Trying to explain it would make it real in a way he wasn't ready for. And deep down, he knew something worse. The thing under his bed was listening. It always listened. After that night, the room felt smaller. The space between the floor and his mattress no longer felt like empty air. It felt occupied. Claimed. Like a second room existed beneath his own, one he wasn't allowed to see. Every night, he lay perfectly still, afraid even to turn over. Because whenever he moved too much, the scratching started again. Slow at first. Then impatient. Like it didn't like being disturbed. Days became strange. Daniel stopped playing as much. His teachers noticed he seemed tired, distracted. He had dark circles under his eyes that no amount of sleep could fix, because sleep was when the sounds were loudest. Sometimes in class he thought he heard it. A faint scratch. Under his desk. He would jerk his feet up onto the chair, heart racing, earning strange looks from classmates. But when he checked, there was nothing there. Nothing anyone else could see. One Friday night, his parents went to a neighbor's dinner party. They told Daniel they'd be just next door and left a lamp on in his room. "You'll be fine," his mom said. "We're only a few houses away." Daniel nodded. But the moment the front door closed, the house felt aware. He locked his bedroom door, turned on every light in the room, even the closet light. Then he climbed into bed and pulled his knees to his chest. For a while, nothing happened. Then the lamp flickered. Once. Twice. Then steadied. Daniel stared at it, breath shallow. The scratching began immediately after. Not gentle this time. Not slow. Scratch. Like claws dragged hard across the wood beneath him. Daniel covered his ears. "Stop," he whispered. "Please stop." The scratching stopped. Relief flooded him. Too quickly. Because then the voice came back. Clearer than before. Stronger. "You're alone tonight." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. "Go away." A wet, gurgling sound echoed from below. Almost like laughter. "I've been waiting," it said. The bed shifted. Not just a dip, a slow, rising pressure from underneath. As if something was pushing up with its back. Boards creaked. Dust fell from the frame. Daniel scrambled to the edge of the mattress, pressing himself against the wall. "Don't," he sobbed. The voice sounded closer now, right beneath his ribs. "You're almost big enough." Daniel didn't understand what that meant. He didn't want to. Something long and pale slid from the darkness under the bed. A hand. But it was wrong. Too many joints. Fingers bending in places they shouldn't. The skin stretched tight over the bones, gray and thin like wet paper. It reached upward slowly, feeling the air. Searching. Daniel kicked at it in pure panic. His foot passed through it, like smoke. The hand twitched, then solidified, and grabbed his ankle. Daniel screamed, so loud his throat burned. The grip was ice cold and impossibly strong. He felt his leg being pulled toward the edge of the bed inch by inch. "Mom. Dad." The house swallowed his voice. The hand tightened. Another hand appeared beside it. Then another. Crawling out from under the bed like spiders emerging from a crack in the wall. Daniel kicked wildly, managing to break free for a second. He scrambled toward the headboard and froze. Something was peeking over the edge of the mattress, near his pillow. A face. Upside down. Its skin sagged loosely over a skull that seemed too large. Its mouth hung open wider than humanly possible, lips split at the corners. No eyes, just deep, hollow sockets filled with slow-moving darkness. It smiled. "You looked," it whispered. Daniel hadn't realized his head had turned toward the edge of the bed. But he had looked. And now the rules were different. The mattress suddenly sank hard in the middle.
Wait.
Real weight. The creature was no longer just beneath the bed. It was climbing onto it. Daniel scrambled backward, but the wall stopped him. The thing's long arms unfolded, elbows bending the wrong way as it dragged itself up. Its body was thin, stretched, as if it had been folded into too small a space for too long. Bones cracked as it straightened. "You're not supposed to be here," Daniel sobbed. It tilted its head. "I was here first." Its voice layered over itself, like multiple whispers speaking at once. "You took my place." The lamp shattered. Darkness swallowed the room. Daniel felt the bed dip closer. Felt cold breath on his face. Then, headlights flashed through the window as a car drove past outside. For a split second, the room lit up. The bed was empty. Daniel lay alone, shaking. The house was silent. Had he imagined it?
No.
Because his ankle still burned where fingers had gripped him. And on the mattress beside him, there was an imprint, the shape of a body that had been lying there. His parents found him asleep on the hallway floor when they came home. He refused to go back into his room that night. Or any night after. They moved his mattress into their room. The scratching stopped. The whisper stopped. For a while. Until the first night Daniel slept in his parents' bed. He woke to the sound of breathing. Not his parents.
From under the bed.
Years passed. Daniel grew older. Moved out. Tried to forget. But no matter where he slept, he never let his feet hang off the bed. Never looked underneath. Never ignored scratching sounds. Because sometimes late at night,
he still hears it.
Beneath him. Patient. Waiting for the moment he finally forgets. Waiting for the moment he finally looks again. Because the thing under his bed was never a childhood fear. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't a story. It was real. And it is still under there. Before you go to sleep tonight, take one last look at your bed. If this story gave you chills, make sure to subscribe for more nightmares like this. Leave a like if you felt that fear crawling up your spine. And tell me in the comments, did you ever believe something was under your bed? Or do you still? Sweet dreams.